my name is Emma and today I'm giving you guys my June wrap-up. Last month I asked you guys if you wanted me to continue doing combined book hauls and wrap-ups or if you thought I should separate them into two individual videos. So you guys said to do them in two videos, so that's what I'm doing this month. If you think I should continue doing them in two separate videos or if you think I should go back to doing ridiculously long book hauls and wrap-ups together, please let me know because I want to bring you guys what you want in the format that you want. So in the month of June, I have read 5 books, which I think is pretty decent. June was a crazy month for me. I had my dress rehearsal and my dance recital and my dad came to visit and Sarah without H came to visit and I did a panel in New Jersey and I had to work through all of this. It was just a crazy month, but I am really happy with the amount of books that I read considering all that was going on, and I really enjoyed all of the books, so that's what I'm showing you guys today. The first book I read in the month of June is The Winter's Crime by Marie Rutowski. Last month, after going to a signing and meeting Marie Rutowski, I was finally motivated enough to pick up her books, and so I loved The Winter's Curse and decided to pick up The Winter's Crime right after and just marathon this whole series. I really enjoyed The Winter's Crime. It definitely wasn't my favorite in the series. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The funny thing about The Winter's Curse versus The Winter's Crime is that in The Winter's Curse, I really loved the first half, but the second half was so boring to me, and in The Winter's Crime, the first half was really boring, but the second half was really exhilarating, and I really enjoyed the second half so much better. So it's kind of like a flip-floppy kind of thing. Despite not loving the beginning, I really did enjoy The Winter's Crime. I think it just has a second book slump because I never like sequels. One of the first videos I ever posted on BookTube was the fact that sequels are just always one of my least favorites in the series, and that stood true for The Winter's Curse. But nonetheless, I did really enjoy The Winter's Crime, and I really loved the ending of it, so I was very excited to pick up my next book of the month, which of course was The Winter's Kiss by Marie Rutowski, which is the third and final installment of the Winter's Curse trilogy. I loved The Winter's Kiss. I think it's definitely my favorite of the trilogy so far. I do like longer books, and it was the longest book in the series, so that might have played into it. But overall, this book was so thrilling. There was just so much going on at all moments. One thing I love about the Winter's Curse trilogy is the political arc. I don't read a lot of books where we actually get to see inside the military and the workings of the government, and I feel like we got a lot of that in this series, especially in the last book with this giant war going on, and we're smack dab in the middle of it for most of it, and it was just so cool and such a unique reading experience as myself as a reader so far. I feel that this book had a lot more depth than the other two, and I feel like it was just more complex and more interesting. There's more thought put into it. Some of the things that just went on in this book just made me go, wow, this author is so talented. I loved The Winter's Kiss so much. Definitely, if you haven't picked up The Winter's Curse trilogy by Marie Rutowski, I would highly recommend it. I was putting off these books for so long because it was just like, it's just another series that I haven't read yet that everyone loves, and there's so many other series I have to read. You need to read The Winter's Curse immediately. It was so great, and I really think a lot of people would be satisfied with everything I loved about this trilogy. Did I say I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars? Because I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Now, the next 2 books I read in the month of June were on audio. I've been listening to audiobooks since January. They've absolutely transformed my reading life. I listen to so many of them now, and I just have such a great time listening to audiobooks. So the thing I've been doing with my audiobooks is I own a lot of books, and I just do not have the time to physically read all of them. So what I've been doing lately is whenever there's a series that I think I really have the potential to love, or something that I've been really wanting to get around to, but they're not high enough on my TBR that I can set aside all of the books I need to physically read first, I pick them up on audio. So for the month of June, I began a series that I had started in the Biannual Bibliothon of January of last year, which is Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead. I had physically read the first Bloodlines book back in January for the Biannual Bibliothon, and around June, I was just like, you know what? It's been too long since I was in the world of Vampire Academy and Bloodlines, and I really want to pick up these books. So I found all of them on YouTube, and I was like, I am just gonna marathon these. I'm gonna indulge in this world of the Moroi and the Dampiers and the Alchemists, and I was just so pumped to get back into it. So the first audiobook that I picked up in the month of June was The Golden Lily by Rochelle Mead. This is the second book in the Bloodline series, and I obviously had stopped at Bloodline, so I needed to get to book 2. I rated The Golden Lily 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed Bloodlines. There was something about The Golden Lily where it just didn't feel the same to me. It wasn't that it was bad, because I did really enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as Bloodlines. I don't want to say it was a filler book because I feel like a filler book as a sequel is like a little ridiculous, and I definitely think that there was more substance to it, but I do feel like a lot of The Golden Lily was in preparation for setting up for other books, which is fine because obviously we need to build a foundation before we can go off on a 6-book series. I just wasn't as enthralled with The Golden Lily as I was Bloodline, so that's why I rated it 4 out of 5 stars, but I did still really enjoy it, and these audiobooks are so easy to get to, they're easy to listen to, they're really quick, and I'm just having such a great time marathoning the series. And so obviously the second audiobook I listened to in the month of June is The Indigo Spell by Rochelle Mead, which is book 3 of the Bloodline series. I rated The Indigo Spell 4.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't at Bloodline's level, but I did enjoy it more than The Golden Lily. Obviously, I'm not really going to spoil anything if you haven't read Vampire Academy or Bloodlines, but I do want to say that there are 2 characters in this series that are building a very interesting dynamic that I wasn't really expecting at all, but I'm pleasantly surprised by. So a lot of The Indigo Spell focused on the growth and development of this relationship, and I really enjoyed watching that unfold because it's very, very rare that a relationship forms in the 3rd book in a series. It's almost always insta-love right off the bat, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. All in all, I am having the best time listening to the Bloodlines audiobooks. I am in it as much as I was in the Vampire Academy mindset. I'm just right back into this world, and it's so great to enjoy some of my favorite books from one of my favorite authors again. I just love Bloodlines and Rochelle Mead and Vampire Academy. I don't know, they're like my guilty pleasure books. They're so much fun. And let me tell you, if you have read Vampire Academy but you haven't read Bloodlines, you need to. After progressing through this series, I'm just thinking about how much has changed since the end of Vampire Academy, even though it's in the same world, and I'm like, wow, how can anyone stop with all of this information that I know now that I wouldn't have known had I not read this series? I don't understand how people can't read a continuation of a world or a spin-off series. If you liked Vampire Academy, you need to read Bloodlines because it's going to satisfy you, it's going to give you things you didn't even know you wanted, and I think anyone who loved Vampire Academy would love Bloodlines just as much. So definitely pick those books up. And then we have the 5th and final book that I read in the month of June, which is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I was sent an arc of this book early through HarperCollins, so thanks so much Harper for sending it to me. I will have a full review of this book up soon, but I just have to say I loved This Savage Song so much. It honestly might be one of my favorite books that I've read all year just because I feel like it was very unique and individual and different from a lot of books that I've read before. This Savage Song is a fairly new release. It came out July 5th, so I will try and give you a synopsis if you haven't heard of it, though it is one of these books where the synopsis really is a little in-depth and you have to kind of understand a lot to get to the actual plot of the story. So This Savage Song takes place in a world where cities are overrun by monsters, and these monsters come from violent acts. So there are 3 different types of monsters that come from 3 different levels of violence, and so the city has placed a curfew on its citizens so they can avoid being eaten and killed and destroyed by all of these violent monsters. So in Verity City, which is where the story takes place, we have the north side and the south side, and the north side is taken over by Callum Harker, whose daughter is Kate Harker, our main character. Callum kind of rules the north side of the city. He has a deal with monsters where he offers protection to the citizens of the north side of the city. That way the monsters won't bother them. And then on the south side, it is run by the Flints, who are people who are trying to get rid of all of these monsters, where we find our other protagonist, August Flynn, who happens to be a monster himself. And so Kate's father has been trying to keep her away from Verity City for a very long time, but all Kate wants to do is get back into it, whereas August, being a monster, wants to be human. And so the story revolves around Kate and August meeting and going to school together, and they kind of develop this unlikely alliance / friendship. And so I don't know if my synopsis really did it justice. It is one of those books where you really do need to read it and take in the information to actually understand what's going on, but I loved This Savage Song so much. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I think the world is very unique. I don't read a lot of monster books. I read a lot of books about mythical creatures, but they're generally based off of actual myths, whereas we have 3 completely new types of monsters here. I think it's really interesting that Victoria Schwab took inspiration from all of the mass shootings. I really liked both of the characters. I think they're super unique, and I thought there was so much care put into creating these personas. The writing style was beautiful, and I'm basically telling you everything I'm going to say in the review, so I think I'm going to stop now, but basically, This Savage Song was fantastic. I would highly recommend it. I had the greatest time reading it, and it definitely put me in such a great reading mindset. Like, all I wanted to do was read this book. I didn't want to do anything but read This Savage Song and be enveloped in this world, and I'm really sad it's only going to be a duology. I'm also really sad I have to wait a very long time for the next book because I just finished it and I already need more, but again, this book was so good, And I love Victoria Schwab, and I love her writing, and I love her books, and the Savage song is definitely a satisfying release from her. So that is it for my June wrap-up. I think I had a really successful reading month. Although 5 books isn't a ton, that's about like a book a week or so, I really enjoyed everything I read, and that's more important than reading a ton of books that you didn't like. I'm glad summer is here, and I'm glad I have time to read more, and I've been having such a great time reading, and I hope you guys have too. In the comments of this video, please let me know what your favorite read of June was. Maybe I'll pick it up in July. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!